2 out of every 3 people paying for a gym membership right now will barely ever set foot inside it. Not eventually, not someday, almost immediately after signing up. And here's the part that should bother you. That's not a failure of the gym. That's the plan. Walk into almost any gym on a Tuesday night and it looks like the easiest business on earth. Every machine occupied, a line for the bench, a line at the counter. You watch that scene and think, this place is a money machine. You're looking at the 1 hour of the day that lies to you the most. A gym isn't really a fitness business. It's a subscription business that happens to have barbells in it. Once you get that, everything else, how it actually makes money and how it quietly loses it, starts to make sense. And by the end of this, you'll understand why the gyms with the fullest parking lots are sometimes the ones closest to going broke. Let's start with what it costs just to open the doors, because rent a space, buy some machines, undersells it badly. There isn't one kind of gym, there are several, each one a different business wearing the same gym-branded t-shirt. Budget chains sit at $10 to $25 a month, warehouse-sized, running on volume alone. A single location can carry 6,000 to 8,000 members on a skeleton crew. One tier up, the standard commercial gym runs $40 to $70 a month. Above that, luxury clubs charge $150 or more, selling a lifestyle more than a workout. Boutique studios sell $50 to $150 a month around one style of class. And one-on-one training studios don't sell memberships at all. They sell your time with a coach. Every one of these is really the same question answered differently. Do you make money from a huge number of people paying a little, or a small number of people paying a lot? That single choice shapes every number that follows, including whether you build it yourself or buy into someone else's system. Which brings up a fork almost every new owner faces before signing a lease: independent or franchise. A franchise hands you a known brand, a proven layout, and better equipment pricing through corporate deals. Valuable, especially the first time. But franchise fees typically run $20,000 to $60,000 up front, plus an ongoing royalty of 5 to 10% of gross revenue, plus a couple more percent into a shared marketing fund, permanently. An independent owner keeps every dollar the business makes. A franchise owner trades a slice of the top line, forever, for the brand's pulling power. Now, the part almost nobody plans for. The expensive piece of opening a gym was never the equipment. It's turning an empty box into something legally able to hold a room full of sweating people. Landlords want 3 to 6 months of rent up front before you've touched a wall. Impact-rated flooring that won't crack under a dropped barbell runs $10,000 to $40,000. Locker rooms and showers need moisture-proof materials and drainage, another $10,000 to $50,000. Mirrors alone, installed, can run $3,000 to $12,000. And then there's air. A normal retail space isn't built for a room full of people generating heat and sweat for hours. Building code sets a minimum airflow per person exercising in the room. Run that math on a 5,000 square foot floor with 100 people at peak, and you need over 2,000 cubic feet of fresh air pumped in every minute. That's not a ceiling fan. That's a full commercial HVAC system, $10,000 to $50,000 before a single membership is sold. Add the deposit, the build-out, permits, insurance, and a cash cushion for the slow months, and a mid-sized gym can need $300,000 to over $1 million just to unlock the front door. Equipment comes next, and it's bigger than people expect too. A commercial treadmill runs $2,000 to $8,000, and a basic cardio row needs 6 to 12 of them. Strength machines run $1,000 to $5,000 each, and a real floor needs 12 to 20. All in, the equipment bill lands between $40,000 and $250,000. And then you still have to decide whether to buy it or lease it. Buying drains your cash exactly when the business is most fragile. Leasing frees it up, but financing often runs around 8% a year, and the payments don't stop just because your gym is struggling. Location decides the rest, and most first-timers get it wrong because a lot of people nearby isn't the actual test. Roughly 80% of a gym's members come from within a 10 to 15-minute drive of the building, not the city, a 10-minute radius. And the income level inside that radius has to match your price point. A $150 luxury club cannot survive in a neighborhood built for budget pricing, no matter how nice the equipment looks. Prime storefronts in major cities can run $25 to over $100 per square foot in annual rent, versus $12 to $20 in a rural stretch. Get that wrong, and you've locked in a rent bill your own neighborhood can't feed. Now, you've spent a fortune just to open the doors. Here's the part that actually decides whether you ever see that money again: the membership itself. Picture two futures for every person who signs up. In one, they train 3 times a week, every week, for a year. In the other, they come twice in January, feel good about themselves, and never come back, while still paying every month. Which one is more valuable to the gym? The second one, and this is the single most important idea in the entire business. The person training 3 times a week uses hot water, wears down the treadmill belt, needs towels laundered, and takes up floor space during the hour the gym is most crowded, annoying other members and quietly pushing some toward canceling. Every visit costs real money and real capacity. The person who vanished after January costs almost nothing. No water, no wear, no crowding, just a payment landing like clockwork, nearly all of it pure profit. Industry data consistently shows roughly 2 out of every 3 gym members rarely or never use the gym they're paying for. The majority of a typical low-cost gym's revenue comes from people who aren't exercising there. That's not an accident, it's the business model. A gym with 6,000 members could never physically fit even a fifth of them on the floor at once. Fire code wouldn't allow it. A typical floor caps out around 200 to 300 people. If even 10% of a 7,000-member gym showed up together, you'd have 700 people crammed into a room built for 250. The gym isn't selling access to a room. It's selling a bet that most members won't show up at once, and a large share won't show up at all. The forgotten membership sitting unused on someone's bank statement is quietly one of the most profitable customers a gym has. There's a seasonal wave riding on top of this. Often around 1 in 8 annual signups happens in January alone, driven by resolutions. Gyms lean into it hard: discounted joining fees, cheap trials, a burst of ad spend, and that wave recedes almost as fast as it arrived. Roughly half of new members stop showing up within 6 months, and among January joiners specifically, a large majority have drifted off by summer. February is the highest risk month, right when motivation fades before a real habit forms. Experienced owners build their cash flow around this, using the January surge to cushion the quiet summer months. The ones who get burned spend that windfall like it's permanent income. Now, the psychology behind why people keep paying for something they don't use. Part of it is optimism. The membership feels like a promise to a future version of yourself. Part of it is what economists call a commitment device. Paying is supposed to force the behavior. And part of it is plain inertia. Canceling means admitting the plan didn't work, and for $10 to $30 a month, most people would rather keep quietly paying than confront that. Even the physical design reinforces it. Clean layouts reduce intimidation. Mirrors near the strength area boost motivation up to a point before backfiring into self-consciousness. Harder lighting in the weight room emphasizes muscle definition. Softer lighting in recovery areas feels calming. None of it is decoration. It's built to keep you emotionally attached, whether or not you ever swipe the card again. Which is exactly why leaving a gym is never as easy as joining one. Many contracts require cancellation in writing, in person, or by certified mail. Not a phone call, not an app. Notice periods of 30 to 60 days guarantee at least one more billing cycle after you've already decided to leave. And expired or failed cards account for roughly 1/3 to 40% of all cancellations, which is why gyms run entire departments dedicated to chasing failed payments before a member can quietly drift away. Regulators have noticed a federal push to make canceling as easy as signing up was struck down on procedural grounds, and some cities have since passed their own click-to-cancel rules with real penalties attached. Here's the rule worth remembering. If a business needs to make leaving this hard, it doesn't actually expect you to stay happy. There's a smaller hidden cost too, and it has nothing to do with treadmills. Music. Playing background music commercially requires a public performance license, and a gym typically needs licenses from more than one rights organization at once, often a few $1,000s a year combined. Skip it, and the risk isn't small. Field investigators check for unlicensed music, and statutory damages can run into the tens of thousands of dollars per song. An owner who assumes a personal streaming account covers the sound system has taken on legal exposure worth far more than the license ever would have cost. So can a business built entirely on this quiet subscription model actually collapse? Yes, and not from lack of demand. Some of the largest fitness chains in American history, including Bally Total Fitness and Gold's Gym's parent company, filed for bankruptcy not because people stopped wanting to work out, but because aggressive long-term financing and debt loads outran their cash flow. Full parking lots told you nothing about whether the underlying structure could hold. So how does a gym actually make money mechanically? Monthly dues times number of members minus fixed costs. If fixed costs run around $30,000 a month and average dues sit near $90 a member, you need roughly 340 paying members just to break even. Below that, you lose money every month. Above it, additional members are almost pure profit because the marginal cost of an inactive member is close to zero. The catch is getting there. New gyms rarely break even on day one. It often takes 12 to 18 months to cross into profitability, burning working capital the entire time. And membership isn't stable. Annual churn typically runs 30 to 40%, meaning a 500-member gym has to replace roughly a third of its base every year just to stay flat. Not growth, running in place. This is where personal training becomes essential. Its economics are genuinely strong. A trainer capped around 25 sessions a week at $80 each tops, out near $100,000 a year, a hard ceiling since you can't add hours to a day. Small group training breaks that ceiling. 4 clients paying $40 each brings in more per hour than one-on-one, while each client pays less individually. The gym usually splits the revenue 50-50 with the trainer, but across a full roster, training tends to be far more profitable per hour than a basic membership ever is. Put it all together, and 2 very different years emerge. In the good version, the location is right, churn stays low, and training revenue is strong. A mid-sized independent gym can pull in $500,000 to $1.5 million a year, with a 10 to 20% margin, translating to an owner take-home somewhere in the $70,000 to $180,000 range. In the realistic version, 2 or 3 ordinary things go wrong at once. Churn runs high, a cheaper competitor opens down the road, equipment needs more repairs than budgeted, and that same gym can slide from a healthy margin into single digits, or a loss during a slow season, while the parking lot outside still looks just as full. The swing between those two outcomes can be well over $100,000 in a single year, and none of it shows up as a dramatic event. No scandal, no fire. Just a slightly higher cancellation rate and a heavier repair bill, compounding quietly until the number at the bottom of the spreadsheet looks nothing like the plan. So if you ever open a gym, remember what actually decides whether you make it. It was never about how many people you can sign up. A gym doesn't sell fitness, it sells forgiveness for not going. And the businesses that survive are the ones built to profit from the promise, not the workout.